Hello, and welcome to the Hot Dog and a Handshake Pro Wrestling Show's Classic Review Series. I am once again leading this. I am Shane Price, joined by Jayden Ginsweider and our special guest, Jolka.
What's up, guys?
Today we're reviewing a very different show from our usual ones, both in time period and what it is. Because of Forbidden Door coming up, we're going to do the WWE All Japan and New Japan Pro Wrestling Summit from April 13th, 1990. In the Tokyo Dome, almost a sellout crowd, 53,000 in attendance. Anything you need to add on to this, either of you?
We were able to find this online. Just got to kind of search it out. You will not find the matches that involve New Japan talent, which isn't huge, but you'll miss out on Masahiro Chono, and you'll miss out on Jushin Thunder Liger, who are two pretty big legends in Japan. And I was really hoping to watch the Liger match, but just because of how strict not just New Japan, I think it's the company that owns New Japan is with their video library, they really do a great job wiping all that from the internet. So just kind of unfortunate.
Especially also another match that wasn't on there, and it included Kawada.
Mm-hmm.
So another Japanese legend there, and also some underrated guys like Joe Malenko, Danny Crawford, and just other guys who were,
Yeah, so, the matches we're missing, I'll just read them out real quick. Joe Malenko in the Can-Am Express, which was Danny Crawford and Doug Furness, versus Footloose, Samson Fuyuki, Toshiaki Kawada, and Tatsumi Kitahara. And then we also missed Jushin Thunder Liger versus Akira Nogami, and Masa Saito and Shinya Hashimoto defending the IWGP tag titles against Masahiro Chono and Riki Chosu. So that's what we missed out on, but we still do have a pretty fun card here.
Pretty fun card. Also an extremely champion heavy card.
A lot of champions, not a lot of title matches.
In terms of all time.
All time, yeah.
All time, and even then, only one title match? Two?
I think two, but we missed one of them.
So we'll only see one.
Yeah,
it is the WWE Championship, so it is a big one. But it's not
a big one, if you will.
Yeah, it is the big one, but it's not like a big event.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start with the first match. The WWE sends Jimmy Snuka and Tito Santana to take on Masanobu Fuchi and Kenta Kobashi, one of the four pillars, multiple-time champion in All Japan and Noah, Burning Hammer. If I need to go on, I will.
Do you want to explain to the less knowledgeable wrestling fans what the Four Pillars is? A lot of people know about the AEW ones, but what about the original Four Pillars?
So if Eddie Kingston wore that shirt, the Four Pillars were the four top draws of All Japan in the 90s. Akira Taue, Kenta Kobashi, Mitsuharu Misawa, and Kawada all were the top four guys in that company until the split, or when Taue left wrestling. So, and they were the guys who rose All Japan from Baba to them to the 80s and 90s peak it had.
Mm.
And they're very influential on current Japanese wrestling as well.
Okay.
And Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
So this is a fun fact I found before we get to the match. Tito's final match of his career so far is in Australia against a wrestler called This Guy. Not that guy, this guy.
Yeah.
I thought that was just a interesting little side point when I was looking up for fun facts here. So to start, Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins is the theme song for Team All Japan, which was really weird.
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
Why is Kenta Kobashi... you know what? I said, because the necks of Jimmy Snuka and Tito Santana are about to be in the Danger Zone.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
Guess they just really liked Top Gun.
I guess. A fun thing I heard on commentary was the word Shane McMahon. So I looked more closely. He's the ref. He's the referee for this match.
I did not pick up on that.
I didn't pick up on that either.
I heard the word Shane McMahon and Vince McMahon Sr. Jr. I'm like, wait a minute. That ref does sound exactly like Shane McMahon does.
I knew Shane McMahon did ref before he started appearing on TV.
When he yells like 1, 2, like that's like he yells it like he's commentating Heat.
Okay.
So if you've ever watched like Shane McMahon Heat, it sounds the same.
Maybe it was just the quality of, because obviously it's not a pristine quality a show.
I also
as far as video and audio.
downloaded it, so we had a little issue with the last match.
Okay.
But we'll get to that later.
No, the last match without the download still had some choppiness.
Okay. So they start. Kobashi immediately gets in the ring to start against Tito Santana, and the crowd goes nuts. Kobashi chants. Everybody's chanting it. They're going nuts. He's already a top guy.
Did you look it up?
I just looked at it. I'm like, that is Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
So I thought that Tito and Kobashi worked really well together.
I did too. I thought that was
especially because how different the style was at the time between American and Japanese wrestling. Like this is like peak entertainment style and peak sports style kind of sort of combining, and it really worked.
I think Tito Santana is an underrated guy in general.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
I was gonna say I forget how good Tito Santana can sell. I loved watching him in that match.
Yeah, I think he just got overshadowed by like the Hulk Hogan's, Macho Man's, Ultimate Warriors of his time. But like he was pretty great in the ring.
I think he could have worked well in Japan. Definitely. I say with his like barrage of drop kicks later on in the match. And
I do have a note that says Santana just did like 30 drop kicks in a row.
Yeah, he did like at the end of the match like 30 drop kicks. They started doing this crazy like he jumped into a flying forearm, but he's lunging himself at the guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's very weird. Also, in the match, Fuchi gets in there, gets cheered. Snuka gets in. He's not. Santana gets more of a reaction he does when Snuka does like the crowd things. They start going, yeah.
Snuka's also just kind of old at this point.
They're fair, yeah. He's got some ECW titles in his future though. Don't worry.
I liked how in the beginning of the match it took a while for that first tag. The first two guys stayed in there for a good probably 8 minutes before anyone tagged out.
Yeah, I like that too, and especially because even then, like, when it tags out where Santana was getting stuck in there, it was Kenta Kobashi tagging in Masanobu Fuchi, and Fuchi tagging in Kobashi, and back and forth.
They had good tag team offense.
They were
Kobashi and Fuchi.
They were. They worked well together.
Were they a common tag team?
I don't think so.
Kind of just
because
like a random...
at this point, this is like a year away from Kobashi and
the
Misawa.
thing that really kind of set me off to thinking they maybe weren't is at this time Kobashi's one half of the All Asia Tag Team Champions
with Tiger Mask.
Yeah, and Fuchi's the All Japan Junior Heavyweight Champion.
So
it
they're
just
not.
Felt like kind of a random pairing.
It is
kind of like Santana and Snuka were,
especially because of how this is different weight classes too. Because Kenta was always a big heavyweight. He's the top heavyweight probably in Japan ever. But it was a good match for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I liked
absolutely.
it. I gave it 3.
I also give it 3.
What'd you give it?
I'd give it a 5. I love seeing Jimmy Snuka.
Out of 5 or out of 10?
Out of 10.
Oh, we're doing out of 5, 5 stars.
Oh, then
sorry, we keep switching it on you.
I'm back to the 3 again.
Wow, you really like this match, huh?
Yeah, I was like, wow, 5-star match. But yeah, no,
you got an interesting taste in wrestling over there, Sean.
I mean, I am an older wrestling fan. I liked how they stuck to a lot of the basics, and the fans just loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
If you tried to put on a match like that nowadays, you'd be getting boring chants coming through the arena.
It was a great Tokyo crowd overall.
Yeah, it was. I also think that it shows a style change because I think in Japan this match could work. In America, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, if that was on Monday Night Raw today, it wouldn't fly.
No, it really wouldn't. Our next match was a match that, oh, by the way, Snuka hits a Superfly on Fuchi, 1, 2, 3. Commentary for every pinfall when it's Japanese guys go nuts.
Oh yeah,
I love it. It really helps me get excited about the whole show.
I don't understand Japanese, but I loved the energy that I was getting from the Japanese commentators.
Yeah, I want to understand Japanese.
Yeah.
They make you want to know what's going on.
Really, yeah. It is like I've tried to learn Japanese like 3 times now to watch more Japanese wrestling and understand the commentary more because the Japanese commentators they get so into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Mania 2018 Japanese commentary is sensational. No offense to one of the best Don Callis commentary shows ever, but the ending is just they're all over it.
Yep.
So the next match, 5-time WWE champion, 2-time World Heavyweight champion, and a 2-time World Tag Team champion in Bret Hart comes in, Canadian's finest. He takes on 5-time Triple Crown champion, 3-time GHC Heavyweight champion, which he did book himself, Mitsuharu Misawa as Tiger Mask 2.
And for those who don't know, the AAA title, or the Triple Crown title,
That's All
is
Japan.
All Japan's world title. GHC is Pro Wrestling Noah's world title. So, for those who may not...
Thank you for the clarification.
Trying to... For Jolka, who doesn't know, as someone who...
He's just like side-eyeing me, like, who doesn't know.
Yeah. I know he doesn't know. I know that like a year ago, I didn't know most of this stuff. So I'm trying to... The stuff that I've had to learn recently, trying to put that forward. For
You
anybody who
will.
might be listening.
I will forcefully get you everybody to watch a Noah show at some point. So on this match, though, this match starts with lockups.
Oh, I did have a fun
you
fact
do?
I found.
Fun fact. Go ahead.
Bret Hart wrestled the original Tiger Mask 21 times in 1982.
What?
Yeah, including 2 matches for the WWF Junior Heavyweight Championship. All the matches were in Japan.
That's incredible.
Because Misawa, who is the Tiger Mask we're watching now, is the second Tiger Mask in the lineage. I had to pause this because I got really deep into a rabbit hole of reading about Tiger Mask.
It's easy.
Yeah.
Who is Tiger Mask 3, by the way?
Tiger Mask 3 was...
Because you never hear about Tiger Mask 3. You hear about Tiger Mask 2 and 4
Tiger Mask 3.
in the original.
Yeah. Here, let me pull up. Was it Kanemoto?
It might have been.
Koji Kanemoto.
That
And
sounds
then
right.
Tiger Mask 4, Yoshihiro Yamazaki is the current Tiger Mask, the most kind of well-known for being Tiger Mask. And then there was another guy, Ikuhisa Manoa, who was Tiger Mask 5, but he only wrestled 1 match as Tiger Mask.
And then Kota Ibushi.
Kota Ibushi was Tiger Mask W.
So this is kind of like a tradition that keeps on going.
Yeah, it kind of keeps getting passed on. So
It's like Jushin Liger, where it started as a cartoon.
it started as a Japanese comic book character.
Oh,
actually.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then kind of became an anime, and the original Tiger Mask, Satoru Sayama, kind of bought the rights to use it as a wrestling gimmick, and then they just keep passing it down. So, yeah.
So they started with a lot of rest holds. A lot more rest holds. I thought that's not the way I start this match. I start with like a showcase of the technical ability of both these guys. 'Cause both these guys are fantastic in the ring technically, and I thought it was a great spot.
I think we do get some of that.
We do. I'll talk about this. There's a great spot where they go where Misawa's arm drags, and he does it like 3 times, and he gets up for a 4th one, and Brett's expecting it, so he goes into it, and Misawa kicks him in the gut. I really like that spot. That is some heads up wrestling. I've never seen it.
I think during one of the spots, Brett was going for an atomic drop, but Tiger Mask thought he was going for a spine buster. So when he brought him up, he went backwards and he took that knee straight up the rear end.
I didn't notice that, but yeah.
There was definitely some spots that were like, "Ooh, look out!" This match, it was pretty good, and then it actually started to pick up like halfway through. And then they start going at it, and they start doing these more exciting moves.
And then they go right back down to the mat.
Yeah, then they go back to the rest holds. In every sleeper hold that Brett puts Misawa in, he goes, ask him, ref, ask him if he's out. And he's asking a Japanese ref to ask a Japanese guy if he's out in English. Like, Brett, it's not going to work.
What I liked about this is something that I haven't watched a lot of, and that was Bret Hart working heel.
Yeah.
Like, especially when they were out around the outside of the ring, like, you could just tell the crowd loves Tiger Mask. So, like, Bret kind of by default had to be the bad guy.
Can you believe it took them that long to put Misawa and Kobashi in a tag team by each other? Look how popular they are here. They're the 2 biggest guys in the undercard.
Yeah.
So it's just, I find it interesting. And then it's somewhere in the middle of like the entire action, Misawa goes for a crossbody and the bell rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bell rings in the middle of him going for the crossbody, and it's like, oh, time limit draw. Match is over. Have fun. Apart from that, solid match.
One thing I did note is During that match, Bret Hart regretted every time he threw him to the ropes. I think he only had one successful Irish whip. Everything else was reversed.
Yeah.
Tiger Mask, that guy had some agility. When Bret was outside and he hit the ropes, did the flip over and then backflipped right back into the ring. I'm like, oh, damn.
Yeah, that was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's definitely someone that was like, oh, look out. Misawa became more punishing in terms of like how his moveset was, and the years went on. He became known for like the neck drops on himself mostly. The neck drops, actually, that's kind of what killed him. The neck drops, the Emerald Flosion finisher that became really popular and is in like I think every 2K to this day. It might be in Fight Forever too. Also, the whole Noah thing. You know, like how crazy is that you split from a company you're the president of to make your own company.
Yeah.
What I thought was crazy about this show, which wasn't even like part of the match, it looks like their announcers are sitting at kids' tables. Did anyone else catch that?
It always does.
It always kind of does. They don't get the big grand table that American announcers typically get. I thought it was a pretty solid match.
Yeah,
I gave it
all right.
4 stars out of 5. Like I thought it was.
I gave it 3.5 because of the ending.
I'd give it 4 because I love technical wrestling.
Oh yeah, this was a really good technical showcase, but
Yeah.
The ending took me out of it.
Yeah, I feel like a real finish or a better time limit draw finish, because there wasn't even really any drama around the time limit. It was like like you said, he was going for a crossbody, and then the bell rings. It's like, oh, 20 minutes already? All right.
And I was thinking about it, like, even not setting it up to have the dramatic finish, that gives it more of the sports aspect to it.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
I cannot believe that I'm giving this match this rating knowing who's in it.
Mm-hmm.
This should be a 5-star match.
On paper, it's a 5-star
in a
match.
perfect world, you give these guys an hour on a big Tokyo Dome show for a title. This is a 5-star match.
Mm-hmm.
But this match, as it was, sadly the only time these two ever got to wrestle with each other, I give it 3.5.
Yep.
Bring us to the next match. The Great Kabuki versus Greg Valentine. I don't know about y'all. I only had one note, and that was Greg Valentine spams the taunt until he loses a la W2K.
I had just a note about Greg Valentine doing an Elvis gimmick, which I had forgotten
Because he
was
was
a thing
he was
ever
a
did.
Rhythm and Blues tag team.
Was he with Honky Tonk Man at this
Yeah.
time? Okay. And then I wrote Kabuki's face paint is dope as hell.
It is, yes.
Yeah, I liked how he did the 2 red mists when he first came into the ring.
Mm-hmm. But overall, I was not a fan of this match.
No.
I'd probably give it like a 2.
I gave it a 2. Yeah.
I gave it a 1.5. I thought, Greg Valentine doing the taunt thing. Like, if he did it less, I'd like it more. But if I was playing 2K online, I'd roll it up and he lost.
Mm-hmm.
After every move that he would hit, he would be taunting the crowd.
It's like he's playing a wrestling video game and he needs to get his finisher really fast. It's like a 30-second match. He's got to do his finisher in a finisher match, but he can't get it. So that's the taunt. The taunt every once in a while. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
So then we get Jake Roberts versus the Big Boss Man. This was a match that kind of felt out of place in the Tokyo Dome.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like a regular Superstars match.
It felt like a Jake the Snake Roberts getting his ass whooped for an entire match, throwing a DDT and raising his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the crowd was behind Jake in this match. They wanted to see a DDT the entire match. And who played him? Jake's DDT, there's just something about it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's crazy how often that move is used today. And then you go back and watch a show like this, and it's like a killer.
I'm so old, I've seen Jake Roberts live.
Yeah.
That snake, I hate snakes.
When they
I
do the
freaking
snake
hate them.
spot on this show, the Japanese commentary goes insane. Just so 11 out of 10 energy at that point. Just awesome.
I don't know who the commentators are, but they do such a great job.
Mhm.
I don't know a single word they're saying, but they are so into it.
Mm-hmm.
I was
That's-
kind of disappointed nobody went through the American announce table through the whole night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I think in a show like 10 years later that happens.
In a perfect world, Misawa gets put through the table.
Yeah.
through his that neck first, obviously.
I thought this was an okay match overall, though.
I thought it was okay. I forgot to rate it just because of.
I gave it 2 3/4.
Yeah, I'd probably give it around like 2.5, 2 3/4 too.
I would go with a 2 because there wasn't much ring psychology. It was one-sided, and until it wasn't.
It really felt like a match you see on TV.
Yeah.
One of my notes I said that Boss Man goes for a high risk maneuver, misses, and just goes out of the ring.
Oh, when he landed on his feet for the splash.
Yeah, he totally messed it up. Like that splash went nowhere. He rolls out of the ring to get away from it. That was pretty good. And then we of course Jake Roberts wins, hits that DDT to a pretty good reaction for the win. And then we cut into the next match, which is Jumbo Tsutsura and King Haku. Not King. I think King Haku this time, yeah.
Yes, it was King Haku.
Listed as King Haku on the cage match. I couldn't tell if he was doing a King gimmick or not because we didn't really get his entrance on this.
And Mr. Perfect and Rick Martel. This had all of the makings of a crazy match if it was just Jumbo and Mr. Perfect.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. Like, this could have been a really good match as
Jumbo
well.
Ceruto was Triple Crown champion at this time.
Which, again, there you go. Imagine a Triple Crown title match with Mr. Perfect in it.
Would have been awesome.
So it's amazing how loud the fans are for the guys they know. Like for Jumbo and Haku, they're so going, yeah. For the next match, they're going, I really thought this match was okay. I don't think I saw it to give it a proper rating, though. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah, I'd have to see the entire match.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like we missed that much of it. I did give it 3 1/4 for what we saw.
Okay.
I was enjoying it, but it wasn't anything crazy special.
Yeah, I figured it was just pretty solid, but for what it was, gets the crowd going for this next match.
Oh, the next
match, which is Macho Man Randy Savage against Genichiro Tenryu, which on its own, what a match.
So, yeah, earlier we had that thing with the Greg Valentine match where I don't have very many notes on it because it just wasn't that good.
Yeah.
I don't have very many notes on this because it was that good.
I'm the same way.
I have like 5 pages of notes on this that I left back at my house.
Oh, yeah.
that sucks.
Yeah.
This is the one, I believe, where he chopped Randy Savage and he chopped him back like to next century.
He does multiple times. Mm-hmm. So I said Tenryu feels like a superstar in his entrance. Mm-hmm. Like he comes out and he gets the biggest pop of the night. Mm-hmm. He's not even the champion. Yeah, that's the craziest part.
Randy got a pretty big. I think Randy got the best pop of any of the Americans.
Oh, and yeah, Randy definitely. He was the most popular guy, maybe outside of like Andre. Mm-hmm. So it was. I mean, Tenryu chops the crap out of Randy here. I mean, literally, as Jolka said, into like the next century, he chops him so hard. The crowd loses it when he chops him.
Yeah. And I don't know how you felt. I know you haven't watched much New Japan, but this felt a lot closer to like the current New Japan style than any other match we saw on this card.
I did say
felt like it wouldn't be out of place now as a New Japan match.
I did say this has the big fight feel that I said Scars was missing. Mm-hmm. I think it's because of that. Because it felt like a modern match. Mm-hmm. This has that, this feels like it would be for a title. Mm-hmm. It would not necessarily like a showcase one-on-one. This feels like it would be like a big fight feel, and I feel like that. And also the crowd goes in. This crowd was fully behind Tenryu. Mm-hmm. Literally, there was nobody in the crowd go for Macho Man. They go insane when he rolls them up. Mm-hmm. They lose their mind.
They went crazy when he kicked out of the elbow drop too.
Yeah, I forgot. I forgot about that.
I was shocked.
Tenryu kicks out of the elbow drop it too, which is unheard of in America.
I've never seen anybody kick out until then.
Yeah, so that was insane.
So this match was awesome. Awesome for the time period. It was awesome. Nowadays it'd be awesome. I wish it was longer.
Mm-hmm. Did either of you have to rewind that elbow drop? Because at first it looked like he got him with a knee drop from the top rope.
Yeah, I did. Just to make sure, like, oh, am I seeing this right? Like, to see the kick out again and the elbow drop. Like, man, did I see the kick out too? Yeah, I gave it 4.5.
Same. I also give 4.5.
Yeah, I'm right with you guys on that.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I don't want to spoil what I'm rating the next few matches, but I think this was match of the night.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I think
Although the last match, I think it's a little close.
last match was pretty good.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it when we get there.
Sadly, there's a match in between that match.
Sadly.
Sadly, so first of all, it would be the IWGP Tag Team match we didn't get to see. And then we get Ultimate Warrior. Fuel the rockets, the rocket fuel, load the rockets. You know, all that stuff. Against Ted DiBiase. In my first one was that the Ultimate Warrior corrected a single point in time in a single place, and that place was not 1990 in Japan.
Yeah.
I think the best part about that match was when they were trying to figure out how much yen the $1 million championship was going to be.
That was Jesse Ventura on fire.
I would assume that they commentated over this for and put it out on an episode of Superstars or something.
Probably.
Yeah.
But this one was commentated by Vince McMahon and Jesse Ventura. And
Jesse Ventura on fire. This
match
match
was great. Yeah.
Sensational. Vince, not so much.
It took Vince a long time to be a good announcer.
Yeah, he doesn't have it here.
No.
Oh, whatever.
1, 2, no.
Oh, what a strange man that guy is. So I feel like the crowd was cheering for DiBiase for most of the match, not Warrior. But then
I felt like they popped louder for Warrior on the entrance, but ended up cheering more for DiBiase.
Yeah, but then it felt like when the Warrior got his moves in, they were doing the same exact thing as they did for DiBiase. So I didn't just like the moves.
Yeah, I'm speaking of liking the moves.
Let me do it.
Okay.
So then DiBiase hits the power driver. Let's get that Ginswater scale up here. What'd you do with that, 10?
I think there was a 6.7 out of 10.
Okay.
It's pretty solid. Wasn't anything special. Pretty solid.
The crowd was loud, I'll give them that, but they just sounded loud, not like into the match, you know? And a great line from Jesse Ventura here. Does it quack? I don't remember the context here, but he did say the words, does it quack?
I don't know.
I don't think I need the context for that one.
Yeah.
I gave it a 2 because it's a Warrior match. You know, it's a guy beats up Warrior, pins him, 1 count, big splash, 1, 2, 3.
I gave it a 3. I felt like Ted DiBiase dragged a little bit more out of Warrior than most people can, but it's still nothing crazy special.
And what'd you give it?
I'd say about a 3.5 because Warrior did a little bit more than he normally does.
That's true. He did. He definitely did, but I'm not a huge fan of the Warrior in general. I think he's a 3-trick pony.
I was a fan of the Ultimate Warrior until I saw the truth of the Ultimate Warrior.
Okay, DVD. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, the motivational talks. Let's get that out of the way. Warrior, bad dude.
Yeah,
Vince, bad guy. A Warrior, also a bad wrestler. So he's not winning on either front here. So I gave it a 2. You gave it a 3.5. You gave it a 3. The next match, I thought I would rate lower than I did because Hulk Hogan in it.
No, you're skipping the tag match.
Yeah, but you're missing one.
I'm missing one?
The Andre Giant Bob.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. My bad. I have it on here, too. Andre and Baba versus Demolition. 2 big dudes who can't walk versus Demolition. So, at this point in time, Andre, this is his last match in WWE. He's slowing down. Giant Baba went for 8 more years after this, but it shows that he's losing it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, shout out to Giant Baba for having that build, too, and being the biggest star in all Japan history.
Yeah.
Him and Inoki, after Ricky Dozen's death, are like the only reason we even are talking about the show in general.
Mm-hmm.
So to see Giant, I mean, he's still super popular. Andre, also super popular.
Oh, the crowd went stupid for Andre.
Demolition does their job, making these dudes look like they're gonna beat the crap out of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I had to do.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. What did you guys think of the match overall?
It served its purpose.
Yeah, I gave it 2.5. It felt like
I gave it a 2, but I will admit that I think I would rate it higher if I went back and watched it again.
Oh, you're gonna hate me for this. I give it a 5.
That's fine.
I loved watching that match.
That's fine because
That's your taste.
I can understand that because I said it served its purpose. This match was let's get Andre and Baba out there one more time
I
for
think
one last dance. Let's
if
have some
this
fun here.
was 87 or 88, this is a much better match.
Oh, absolutely.
If this is 79, this is the best match on the card.
Yeah, well, of course.
This is 79.
But I
this
just
is the
mean,
best match on the
even just a
card.
couple years earlier, like Andre had way more.
Yeah.
Like in the WrestleMania 3 area.
Pre WrestleMania
Right.
3, I think this is probably a great match. But as it stands, you give it a 5. I can see that. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I'm not going to judge you. It's a,
Nostalgia definitely played a factor in.
Yeah, I think a lot of our shows that happens to
that
us
happens.
too.
I mean, TLC 2009. I do a whole thing about a Kofi Kingston DVD I had as a kid. So.
So I yeah, it happens. And I think this next match is gonna be the same way because Hulk Hogan's in it. Hulk Hogan versus Cowboy Stan Hansen. What?
Even crazier commentary team of Sean Moody and Lord Alfred Hayes.
That too is even weirder than that match itself. First of all, getting out of the way, I will go nuts for Stan Hansen's entrance every single time I see it.
Love Stan Hansen.
The bull rope, swinging it into the crowd, hitting bystanders, or ducking out of the way, making the crowd fear you in the first 5 seconds of your entrance. Sensational work from Stan Hansen.
The best part of the work is he does that, and then the crowd cheers for him during the match.
They want to get hit by that bull rope. It's like
Well,
what
because he's their guy. He's
He
like
is.
an unofficial Japanese wrestler.
he's practically a Japanese. He lives in Japan, married to a Japanese woman. I think he still is in Japan to this day. So he was really adopted by Japan, becoming like who he was.
Yeah, and then of course, once again, we know as a person there are some problems with Hulk Hogan. We're judging the art, as we always say when somebody like this pops up. This is pro wrestling. It's filled with a lot of not great
You
dudes.
could have said that out the last match.
Could have said that about
That last match against Warrior and Vince.
could have said that about Warrior instead of Vince. But just making sure we get out there. Remember, we're judging the art of the wrestling and not.
Right.
Yeah, we're not judging. I stand behind. No, I'm not gonna say the finish tag. I don't want to take it out of context. Hulk Hogan, blah blah blah. Hulk Hogan good, Hulk Hogan bad, whatever. This match I thought was much better than I thought it was gonna be. Hulk Hogan in Japan. I don't know what's about that, but he
What
unlocks
it was?
like more movesets.
He was working heel.
You're right.
That's what it was. He unlocked his moveset because he was working heel.
This match, I thought Stan Hansen's a bad guy in Japan. He's hit you that bull rope. Bruiser Brody and him are gonna beat the crap out of you. But no, Hulk Hogan comes out real American. Dun 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 dun. Dun. Hulk rules, the immortal one. He's the bad guy in the match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because, like we said, even though he's from Knox City, Texas, as I just looked up to find out, Stan Hansen is like a Japanese hometown guy, basically, in this match.
Right. And even the announcer said, when's the last time you've seen Hulk Hogan throw someone against the steel ring post?
Yeah.
Probably AWA to
Yeah.
answer the question. I liked it. Hulk Hogan got blood. Got blood
Both
in
of them did.
1990, which is crazy. Hulk Hogan hit some good moves.
They were physical. They were real physical.
I mean, Stan Hansen is going to beat the crap out of you no matter what you do.
There was-
Hogan responding in kind of the same way was a nice touch.
There was a spot where Hogan slams Hansen not through, on a table. And
Right.
it looked
Rough.
brutal.
Rough.
Did anyone catch that they announced Hulk Hogan as the WWE champion?
They did.
They
They
really?
did in the commentary. They did. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
Oh, no,
wonder,
the announcer as he's
Really?
coming to the ring, they're like the WWE champion. I'm like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Warrior was just on the show with the belt. did they have that backstage?
I wonder if that was dubbed over, if between the American airing of this show and this show actually happening, Hogan won the belt back.
I think the Hogan match and the Warrior match were aired at different times.
Yeah.
Because different commentary teams, they're both billed as champions in the match. Oh, and by the way, before I forget to mention it, Stan Hansen hitting the ring announcer with a bull rope, and the ring announcer's going, "Weighing 2." 89 pounds. Stan Hansen weighs 89 pounds?
So this was April of 1990, right?
Yeah.
I guess
This
we
is
just lost
Ultimate
it.
Warrior's first.
I guess unless this doesn't air until like mid 1991, I don't know why the world champion thing happened. I have no explanation.
This is also. It also was Warrior's first defense post Mania too. So I
Really?
don't know.
That's interesting.
Maybe they meant to say former WWE champion.
Maybe. But also, like, this match was solid until the video glitched.
Yeah.
Yeah, the video started the glitch. The ending. I didn't really get the full ending.
It wasn't a big enough portion of the match to really ruin it too much.
No, it wasn't. But it's the ending being gone kind of lowers the game a little bit.
I know. I was watching it intensely. I'm like, yes, and then it starts glitching. I'm like, no.
Yeah,
No.
I was the same way. I gave it 3 3/4.
I did too. Probably the best Hogan match I've ever seen.
Yes, easily.
I'm going 4.5.
That's I can see that. Yeah.
Because that physically intense like that.
My main gripe against this match was actually the refereeing. At one point, Hogan is pinning Stan Hansen, and Hogan's foot is below the bottom rope, and Hebner still counts it, which you aren't supposed to do.
Well, it is Hebner, by the way. Keep that in
And
mind.
then at one point, Hansen just whips Hogan with the bull rope right in front of Earl Hebner, and Earl Hebner doesn't even do anything. Doesn't even react.
Playing by the GCW rules of
Yeah.
We had a new referee one night, and I had lost a championship because they counted me down for 3, and my foot was completely out of the ring. Under the rope, foot hanging. They're supposed to call it a break. And counted to 3, rang the bell. I'm like, what's going on? By the time I knew what happened, he had already left with the belt.
Yeah, I bet that's you got screwed.
Yeah.
And
I really did,
And
yeah.
who's the referee in this match? Earl Hebner.
Screwdriver ref. Yeah.
Damn Hebners.
Overall, this match was all right. The show.
What did you give you said 4.5, right?
4.5,
Okay, I just
yeah.
want to make sure we.
Let's get to rating the show.
You want to do the categories first?
Yes, so let's do categories first. Yes.
All right, so first, best moment of the show. So this goes to kind of a smaller section. It could be like a sequence of moves, just one move, like just a single commentary line, whatever, just kind of a smaller thing. What was the best moment of the show for you guys?
It's not Lizard Quack. That's in second place. To me, it's the chops.
Mm-hmm.
The power bomb into the roll up on Randy Savage.
I'm going to that match too. Kicking out of the elbow drop was my best moment.
I think we're gonna have a very common theme with that.
Yeah. Next, MVP of the night. Who was the biggest star of the night? Like, who performed the best?
Tenryu.
That's hard.
I think star power wise, he had the biggest reaction and he had the best match.
I'm going to go with Cowboy. I think
Hansen?
That's fair.
Yeah, I think Hansen had I think he had it that night.
I think I'm also going to go Tenryu. I was between Macho and Tenryu. I had to pick one of them. I think I'm going to go Tenryu.
Before we go any further, because you mentioned Stan Hansen as the MVP that night, I think Stan Hansen was the MVP of WrestleWar 91.
There's a review we did on our previous run of this podcast where we do WrestleWar 91, and there's a backstage interview where Missy Hyatt's trying to get into the men's locker room for an interview, and Stan Hansen walks up to her just covered, like mouth, chest, just covered in tobacco.
Oh,
And
man.
just yelling at her, and it is so funny.
It was my favorite part of that
Yeah.
show. But, I mean, yeah.
Next award.
Next award.
We have the Heat Check Award. So this goes to who did the most in the shortest amount of time. So think Alec Baldwin and Glengarry Glen Ross. You know, one scene, perfect performance. Something like that in wrestling terms.
I want to say it's in that first match we saw.
Okay.
I feel like I'm going to be giving Kenta Kobashi more praises come July.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Tito Santana.
Tito Santana?
I'm going to go with Tiger Mask.
Tiger Mask? Well, he was kind of on a long portion of the show.
So
We're trying to go for
this
something
is
short.
like-
Oh, I wasn't going for the whole match. I was just like his bursts of energy, like his high spots that he did.
I mean, kind of the point of the award is like someone who wasn't on TV for a lot.
Oh, okay. Then
So, I have kind of an outside the box pick if you want to hear mine first.
yeah.
I'm giving
Let's
you
go
Damien the Snake. Only on screen for like a minute, did his job perfectly, no mistakes.
And the counter goes, Snake is
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
The commentary going crazy.
Then I'm gonna go with $1 Million Man.
All right, I like
Okay,
that. It was
okay,
kind of a shorter
I like
match.
that, yeah.
I like that, yeah. All right, so this next up we have Apex Mountain. This is where we talk about, was this show or maybe this era the peak of something? Was it their very top? So these are more questions for Shane this time because I don't really know.
Yeah. It is, and at some points in these, like in these where it's like a one I know more, this category becomes like, hey, was this actually it?
Yeah.
Feel free to answer my one. You don't have to like to take this one out. If you want to try
If you have any notes to give, yeah.
I'll probably have a question for you in this one too. So
Was this the Apex Mountain for Tiger Mask 2? Not Misawa, for Tiger Mask 2.
no, because I think the apex was him ripping the mask off.
Yeah, that does happen like a month after the show.
I think that's the best part of the gig is him ripping the mask off and saying, "I'm Mitsuharu Misawa. That's me."
Yeah, okay. Is this Apex Mountain for WWE working with other companies?
No, I'm gonna say just a curveball here would be New Jack versus Undertaker in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, a match that actually happened.
Okay. Yeah.
In reality, no. I think when they started working with War and SWS, those shows are a little better than this one
Okay.
is.
That's all I had for Apex Mountain. Do you have any other contenders?
I do. Was this the peak of like Warrior Hogan in '90?
Like them separately or them together?
Them is like the top draws.
I don't think either of them were the top draws of the night, but I think both of them had better matches than they normally would have.
I think this is Warrior's peak. Just in popularity, like this year is kind of when he hits the upper echelon and he never really gets back up there afterwards. For Hogan, I think his peak popularity is probably in the NWO.
Yeah,
But this is
Yeah.
probably the best in-ring work I've ever seen of Hulk Hogan.
I agree with you on that.
I disagree. I think, but it is in Japan, so I guess I kind of like do agree.
Yeah.
Him against Inoki is a little better. He starts doing like arm drags and leg drags. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
What are you doing this crap for? Arm drags?
Yep. Next up, we have a new one, the surprise of the show. What was the most surprising thing that happened on the show for you guys?
Going for the splash. Ding, ding, ding. That was the biggest surprise for me.
It really was.
For me, it was that or the fact that Tenryu, I know I keep bringing this up, but that he kicked out of the elbow drop at all was really surprising at the time.
In like 3 months from now, when we do another show, Tenryu, I'm like, hey, remember when Tenryu kicked out? Like,
Yeah.
that was crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah. All right, next we have our recasting segment. So
This is gonna
obviously,
be fun.
you can't recreate a match spot for spot. Can't recreate that energy. But if there was some special portal that allowed us to put current wrestlers into these spots, who would be the best picks? Which match should we recast? I was thinking Brett Tiger Mask, but we could also take it a different.
Yeah, I think about Tiger Mask.
Recast Brett Tiger Mask. All right. Let's start with Tiger Mask. Who is like the modern analog for Tiger Mask?
Are we doing Tiger Mask here or Misawa?
Yeah, it could be either way. I mean, let's break it down. What was he at this time? What role did he fill in the wrestling landscape at this time?
He was already becoming champions, so I guess we'll go with Tiger Mask here.
Yeah,
Just as a play it safe.
because I think like
So we're looking for like a younger guy, like
younger junior heavyweight.
no heavyweight.
He's a heavyweight.
Mhm.
Okay. Maybe are we going to look to Japan for his?
I would say so.
So a younger heavyweight
If
in
we
Japan.
could do all time, I'd just pick Kenta.
But
That's not fair.
currently in 2024 is kind of the idea of the recasting. Who feels like they're up and coming, about to win a world title? in
Yoda
Japan?
Tsuji.
That's what I was going to say. Yoda Tsuji, I think, is probably our best. And now one part that I think you could probably help us with a bit more. Who's the modern Bret Hart?
Chad Gable.
That's a good one.
I can
I mean,
see
at
that.
this version of Bret Hart, because like my first thought goes to like Danielson.
Well,
But Danielson now is more accomplished than Bret Hart was in
this
1990.
is 90, so I guess
This is pre-world champion Bret Hart.
Chad Gable could work.
Gable's actually a great pick. I like that. So the recasted version of this would be if there was a WWE New Japan show where we got Chad Gable versus Yota Tsuji. Sounds pretty awesome to me. Best double feature, we'll stick with Bret Tiger Mask. If you're putting another match with this, what do you go? Jolka, from the Bret Hart perspective, what's the best match to pair with this one?
That's hard to pick. That's real hard to pick.
I went with Bret Owen from WrestleMania 10.
I'd probably have to go with Bret and Shawn Michaels. It went the time limit. They didn't have any overtime, and it had a lot of technical, and then it had a lot of its signature high flying.
That's a good pick, too. Shane, from the Misawa side, what's a good match to pair this
I've
with?
already used Kenta Kobashi Misawa against Misawa, so I'm not going to redo that. Although if you cannot go wrong with any of their matches. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm going to pick from 4 years from now,
1994.
Misawa Kawada
Okay.
is my pick for the Misawa side. It is the evolution of Misawa from Tiger Mask 2 into Misawa. He's spent some more time with Misawa in this one. Kawada is going to drop him straight on his neck. It looks brutal. Probably was brutal. But that's my favorite. That's one of my favorite Misawa matches to watch.
All right. So now I think it's a classic hot dog time.
It
Is
is,
that where you wanna
yes.
go? All right.
I feel like we're all going to be... Well, I don't know about you, actually. Now that I think about it. But I know we're going to be in agreement for this one for sure.
What do you got?
Tenryu.
Yeah, Tenryu versus Macho Man.
And Jolka, you're kind of the wild card in these. So what was your pick for
Just the favorite thing that you
your
saw.
favorite thing from the show? Could be a match, a segment, a promo,
Commentator.
yeah.
My absolute favorite thing is when Macho Man got pinned after the powerbomb.
Yeah.
It's just the excitement on that crowd. Just
It sounds like if you're going to take away one thing from this podcast, go watch this
Just
Tenryu
go
Macho Man
watch
match.
Tenryu
But
Macho
that's-
Man. Forget the rest of the show. That's not
like
important.
3/4 of the runtime of this has been devoted to just this one match. But yeah, no, it was pretty great. And then you guys were going to rate it out of 10?
Yes.
Whole show. I mean, technically we didn't see the whole show, but what we were able to see of it.
Well, that's what we did with the FW too.
FW,
So.
yeah.
Realistically, what we saw was really a mixed bag.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say a 7.
That's what I gave it also, actually. Felt like a mixed bag, but a little bit more good than bad.
The cream rose to the top.
I'm gonna give it a 9 because I didn't get to see a lot of the people I haven't seen before, and it was a new experience for me, and I was glued to it the entire time.
Actually, it was the same for me, too. I don't know if I'd watched a full Misawa match before this. I've seen highlights and stuff of his. But so like him, I knew about like him, Jumbo Tsuruta, Giant Baba,
You're gonna love that review.
Kobashi. Like I knew some of these names, but I hadn't really seen a lot from them either. So I'm kind of with you in that.
Serious question here. How many of those names did you know at before me?
Probably just Kobashi and Giant Baba.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, I knew of Tiger Mask. I knew of the
Right.
gimmick Tiger Mask,
Well,
but I
that's
didn't know
different.
I didn't know the name Mitsuharu Misawa. I didn't know the name Jumbo Tsuruta.
Eddie Kingston failed you, obviously.
I mean, honestly,
Uh,
Kobashi I really only know about because of Eddie Kingston and Kenta.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay.
So, yeah, I think that's it for the show. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, I mean, if you enjoyed this show, we have other ones. You can check out our ones that we've done here at Sound Peak Design Studios in Topeka, Kansas, or our ones in the KJHK Studios on their platform. If you enjoyed this past review, there's some more coming up as well. But of course, as Jayden will say, just enjoy wrestling.
And actually, before we go out, next week, TakeOver New York 2019. It'll just be me and Jolka. But yeah, will be a fun one.
I'll contribute via text.
Yep. Enjoy wrestling.